Welcome back to Star Wars Battlefront 2. Today we're going to be chatting about yet another guide I'm going to be bringing out for you guys. And it's going to be 5 tips that I'm going to give you here today that will improve your gameplay and improve your kill streak and improve your overall survivability when playing Battlefront 2 with any class, any hero, or pretty much anything in between. So let's jump into this and chat about what I think you need to be doing to just be an all-round better player, but just get those kill streaks up there and get those battle points. So the first thing, and it's super important that I found, is don't just go sprinting around the map. Especially when you get into contact with the rest of your team, you know that when your team is stopped and when your team is, you know, they're not advancing or not moving really, it means there's going to be enemy players really quite close. And especially if you're playing against the droids. Droids, for some reason, are actually really quite hard to see. I found this personally myself. I struggle, I can't remember what map it was called, but there's one map that all the brick is pretty much all like that stone, like sand color. And the droids are a stone like sand color, and for some reason they're just really hard to see. So if you start sprinting into areas willy-nilly, you're going to be gunned down before you have a chance to fight back, because there is an animation gap between stopping sprinting, being able to scope in, or just straight up firing. People do also really like to sit in corners a lot, especially if they know that they're going to be attacking or you're going to be attacking into them. They'll just sit in a corner and wait for you to come around it. And it happens a lot on the Camino map, because as you're trying to push through or trying to push into the droids, they just sit in corners behind a little white room and just fire out at you. So don't just sprint in, check around. If you're an assault class, use your scanner sweep, or if you're the sniper class, use your I can't remember what the thing is, but when it brings out the short range weapon that you can see them on the map, just get used to using those abilities to, you know, use them to your advantage pretty much. And the fact that there is actually no bullet drop in Battlefront 2, if you go sprinting and hauling it across the map, snipers sitting up in the edges of the map or up in cover or anything, as long as they have a general idea of how to gauge how far they have to track the player in front, they're going to be able to snipe you out pretty easily, because I'm going to worry about bullet drop anymore like they do on Battlefield 1. They just have to make sure that they shoot far enough in front of you that the bullet hits you. So just be careful when you're just sprinting around open fields especially. Next is use cover to your advantage. And this is when third personing comes in also, and it's a pet hate of mine because I hate third person mode, but use cover to your advantage. I've actually refused to go first person for a lot of gaming in this in general. I've actually had a pretty decent streak. It's just a lot of peeking around corners and making sure that you can see them but they can't see you. I've made it harder for myself, but I just find it way more satisfying. But use cover. There is crap literally sprinkled across the maps in Battlefront 2 everywhere. There's trenches, there's boxes, there's fuel gauges, there's starfighters, there's X-Wings, there's just stuff everywhere, and just use it to your advantage. Hide behind stuff. Make sure if you're trying to go into a gunfight, you're not just standing on the top of a hill just waiting for them to start firing at you. You have cover that you can duck behind, because there is that roll ability that you also need to use to your advantage, because if you don't, then you're limiting yourself pretty much. So just do that and you'll be having a much better time. And the third thing is knowing your weapon well. And this is sounds really self-explanatory, but if you know your weapon's sweet spot, you can optimize how far and gauge how far you need to be from an enemy to take them out quickly. For example, the sniper class is really good at long range fights. You get 2 headshots or a single headshot and you've had a good day, and that's pretty much done. However, if you're using the I can't remember what the name of the weapon is, but the close range assault weapon, it's got a massive spread but a really fast fire rate, which is great for short to medium range combat. So that means you have to adjust your play style. It means you have to adjust how you're playing. Use your abilities, use that scanner sweep so you know when they're coming around corners, and make sure you're ready for the fight. And you can, that CR weapon, that little like shorter submachine gun, it just shreds through people at short range. It's unbelievably powerful. And that shotty in that class too. So yeah, know your weapon sweet spot so you can get the most amount of bullets into the enemy as fast as you can, so then they don't get you instead. Next thing, super self-explanatory. Fight with your team. And that doesn't even mean fight with the squad you spawn in with, although that will grant you extra battle points. Fight literally with the entirety of the team. If you are one person alone on your own trying to flank or trying to do something fancy on your own, chances are if an enemy sees you or 3 of them see you, you're going to be deleted like that. However, if you're fighting with a bigger amount of people, you are one amongst many, meaning that the odds of them firing at you are a lot more slim compared to when you're on your own. Plus, if you're comboing that with using cover, then there's going to be just like stormtroopers or droids popping up all over the place, and the enemy's not going to know when or where to shoot you, which is actually going to improve your survivability a lot. You may not secure as many like sneaky kills or anything, but you're also going to be playing the objective for one, and going to grant you more battle points and get the heroes you want to play out a lot faster too. So just keep that in mind when you're playing in Galactic Assault. And tip number 5 is wait for the perfect time to spawn in as hero players. Heroes are literally the most powerful unit in the entire game, and if you get one that is needed at that specific time, you just roll people. Especially like if you see a Darth Vader start rocking up and you're like on the defending side, you're just going, well, it's gonna be a tough day from this point onwards. Because if they've spawned him in at the right time and using cover effectively, they should be able to just roll most of the thing. The other thing is, for the heroes, learn your abilities and learn how to use them, because so many times I've done it myself. You've just gone walking in and they just shredded you, just deleted, boop, and you're just done. But if you know how to use cover, push in with allied players. If you push in together, the enemy needs to 1, kill the hero, and 2, kill all the troops around that hero. And that just means that there's a lot to shoot at. You have a lot of a bigger health pool too. It'll just make it a lot harder for the enemy to just pretty much do anything on their half. So just keep that in mind when you're trying to push with one. And when you do, make sure you close the distance. If you're playing with a lightsaber dueler, close the distance between you and your enemy really fast so you can get in close. Kylo Ren's really good at this. Yoda is really good at this. Even Rey is really good at this. I haven't played too much Emperor. I'm not too sure what he does. He just kind of zaps anyone, but that's just a general consensus there. Get in, get out, use cover, and you'll be having a pretty darn good time in Battlefront 2. So that is what I do have for you guys all today. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope it helps out just the littlest bit, and that means I've done my job. If you want to see more Battlefront 2 guides, check out the playlist that this video is in. Also, subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and comment if there's any tips and tricks that you have for me or for anyone else watching this video that could also help them out. Thank you guys once again, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.